Motto for Uganda, for God and my country. God wants us to work tirelessly to take care of one another. As we read in the Bible, when God comes to meet with man, and he asks one of the sons of Adam and Eve, "Where is your brother?" The son tried to deny that he was not his brother's keeper. Yet we are aware that the stress is we are all our brothers and sisters' keepers. We ask God to enable each one of us, of whatever religion, of whatever nationality, of whatever tribe, to work together to bring about the peace which Christ, the second person of the Holy Trinity, came into the world to bring about, and namely peace. Peace in my heart, peace in each other's heart, peace in the family, and indeed peace in every community, and especially peace in this Uganda. On this occasion, let us pray that each one of us is dedicated once again to work for justice, to work for peace, to work for reconciliation, so that as we move together, we walk as a united Uganda, and indeed guided by God's word, and indeed each one of us making sure that day in and day out we preserve the life of our neighbors. We do our level best to make peace reign between each other, and indeed to make peace reign in this country, as our motto says, for God and my country. And as one of the great men of the church, Francis of Assisi, said, let each one of us renew his or her dedication to bring about peace by working hard to play your role, my role, our roles, to become instruments of peace wherever we are, beginning with our families, and then from the families, let this peace spread out throughout Uganda, and we continue to live in a happy country, a very, very safe country, and we want to work together, especially for the three arms of the government, as well as the led and those who are leading us. And we all rejoice and enjoy this country which God gave me, gave you, gave to all of us. May the good Lord bless all of us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend Father, for committing this function to the Lord. And now we are confident that God is with us and we can go ahead and enjoy our function. Your Excellency, the President and Mama, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, my Lords, the Chief Justices Emeritus, my Lord, the Honorable the Deputy Chief Justice, the Honorable Deputy Attorney General, my Lord, the Honorable the Principal Judge, my Lords, the Justices and Judges of the Courts of Judicature present, Your Excellencies present, the heads of JALOS institutions, the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Secretary, the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, Your Worships, the registrars and magistrates present, the President of the East African Law Society, the President of the Uganda Law Society, the members of the Bar, the family of the late Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA, invited guests, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you most warmly to the Fourth BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Memorial Lecture, which has been organized by the Judiciary to recognize and celebrate the life and achievements of the late Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA, who was the first Ugandan to be appointed Chief Justice. Your Excellency, the theme this year is Administration and Delivery of Justice in Uganda through the years, and a book to this theme has been written and will be launched today. Your Excellency, this function is a double in the sense that it is both physical and virtual. And Your Excellency, we have over 500 participants online. Your Excellency, we are aware of the season we are in, and thus I encourage everybody to continue observing the SOPs as we enjoy this function. Your Excellency, we welcome you and Mama in a very special way. Mama, thank you so much for coming and gracing this function. We are most honored. And Your Excellency, in a minute, allow me to give an overview of the program. We had already started and had two remarks, one by the President of the Uganda Law Society, and then the remarks of the Honorable Attorney General were delivered by the Deputy. So we now will be proceeding with the following parts, Your Excellency, with your permission. We have already been informed you are with us for a short time, and so we are going to try and run very fast to ensure that we make the most of your presence with us today. So under part one, Your Excellency, we shall be having welcome remarks by the Honorable the Deputy Chief Justice, who has been the chairperson of the organizing committee for this event. Your Excellency, we shall then listen to a very brief presentation of the book, Administration and Delivery of Justice in Uganda Through the Years, by Mr. Robert Chirunda. He has a very summarized version. And then, Your Excellency, we shall proceed with the launch of the book by Your Excellency. We will then have the award of the BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Life Achievement Award by Your Excellency. And then we will proceed to have brief remarks by the Honorable the Chief Justice, who will then invite Your Excellency to address your people. After this, Your Excellency, this session will close with a group photograph of selected persons with you, Your Excellency, and Mama. And then, Your Excellency, if you have left by then, we will continue with the last part of the program, where we shall have the full presentation and discussion of the book by Mr. Robert Chirunda. We will then have remarks by the awardees, and then we shall be hosted to lunch. So, Your Excellency, that is how our program stands, and at this juncture, I welcome the Honorable the Deputy Chief Justice to welcome us here. My Lord, you are most welcome.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the First Lady, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, my Lord, the Chief Justice, may I request that I adopt the protocol read out by the Chief Registrar in order to save time, and say, ladies and gentlemen, in a special way, I wish to welcome His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni and First Lady to this fourth memorial lecture in honor of the late Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA. I welcome you all, the participants in this fourth memorial lecture in honor of the late Chief Justice. The occasion is under the theme Administration and Delivery of Justice in Uganda Through the Years. The late Chief Justice, in whose honor this day is marked, was removed from his chambers on these premises by security personnel. He died in the hands of Idi Amin's government officials who had taken him from his chambers. The life of the late Chief Justice was taken away because of his conviction in defending the equality of citizens before the law, their liberty, and his belief in the rule of law. Under today's theme, I implore all of us in the positions under which God has placed us to maintain and promote the rights of Ugandan citizens, Africans, and indeed the human race. Upholding fundamental rights and freedoms will always benefit all of us. For judicial officers, we should stick to the judicial oath we took when we assumed office. If this oath is fully complied with and we administer justice without fear or favor, affection or ill will, that would satisfy the legacy of the person we are celebrating today. As a country, we were able to promulgate a new constitution in 1995. Chapter 4 of the Constitution provides for protection and promotion of human rights in the country. We should all endeavor to promote these constitutional provisions. This celebration of the life and achievements of the late Chief Justice, therefore, calls upon each one of us to reflect on what we have done, what more we need to do in the quest for a stronger and independent judiciary that is capable of contributing to national development and national transformation. Special thanks go to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, for gracing this occasion by his presence. I thank the retired Chief Justice Emeritus, Honorable Samuel Wakawambuzi, who is not able to be with us this morning because he's indisposed. I also welcome Justices Benjamin Odoki and Honorable Bat Magunda Katulebe. It is because of their efforts that the judiciary has progressed this far. We find it useful, your lordships, that you are keeping close to the judiciary in your retirement. I thank also Honorable Chief Justice Alphonse Chingamoy Owinyo Doro, under whose tenure this event has continued to be organized. The efforts of the Honorable Principal Judge, the Secretary to Judiciary, Permanent Secretary, the Chief Registrar are also recognized. My sincere gratitude goes to the organizing committee of this function, whose tireless efforts and contributions have materialized into this successful occasion. I take the honor to once again welcome you to the fourth BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Memorial Lecture. I thank you all for sparing your valuable time, especially in these challenging times of COVID, to be with us. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, my Lord, the Honorable the Deputy Chief Justice, for welcoming us here. Your Excellency, we shall now proceed with our program. And at this juncture, I invite Mr. Robert Chirunda, who will be giving a brief presentation on the book that forms the theme for today, Your Excellency, Mr. Robert Chirunda is an advocate and a lecturer at the School of Law, Makerere University. Mr. Robert Chirunda, you are most welcome to make that summary of your presentation.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the First Lady, my Lord the Chief Justice, my Lords the Chief Justices Emeritus, if I may I borrow from my Lord the DCJ and request to adopt the protocol as set out by Your Worship the Chief Registrar and say, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to present to you the book titled The Administration of Justice and Delivery of Justice Through the Years, the Reflections of Chief Justice Samuel William Wakawambuzi. It is especially sad for me that Chief Justice Wambuzi is not here right now on account of having woken up in not very good health. Nevertheless, I will do my best to represent the views of the three-time Chief Justice of Uganda and former President of the East African Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Egon Nantende of the Court of Appeal, who also isn't here on account of having traveled, and myself had the honor of editing this book. The book is 512 pages long, but contains 71 speeches that Chief Justice Wambuzi gave in his time as Chief Justice between 1974 and 2019. A Chief Justice, as the ones who are here would know, delivers many speeches in his career at different occasions and to different audiences. This book covers speeches delivered both in his official capacity and some in a private one. Through this book, the reader travels back in time to various banquet halls and official events at which Chief Justice Wambuzi expressed his thoughts as he perceived them. In order to allow the reader to meet the author, the book maintains the text of the speeches as they were delivered. Chief Justice Wambuzi speaks from the heart. It was Jesus Christ who said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. But for ease, for the reader, the speeches are divided and classified into 12 categories, including his personal experiences and the human side in the time he served as Chief Justice. This book sets forth thoughts of a deeply reflective thought leader, a noble judge, a genuinely concerned statesman, a devout Christian, loving husband and profound father, a strict and dynamic administrator, a witty storyteller and yet studious speaker, an ardent fan of William Shakespeare, a gifted orator in his own right, a prolific networker whose friends and relations cut across the vastness of the globe in a lifetime well lived. And the book is best aptly described, however, as the expression of the history of Uganda's judiciary, both from an administrative and a reflective perspective. Your Excellency, the book is suited for 4 different kinds of audience. The first, Your Excellency, is the executive branch which you head and which enjoys a symbiotic relationship with the judiciary and is charged with provision of resources necessary for the administration of justice. The book shows uniquely how far we've come in addressing resource constraints that have burdened the judiciary for a very long time. A section of the book is devoted to the logistical and technical challenges of judicial service in Uganda. The reader will encounter a judiciary that has had a long and constant request for more resources for the appointment of more judicial officers and the need to build a home for the courts. Happily, Your Excellency, I would note that a number of these challenges have now been addressed. Reading from the speech of 23rd July 1990, for instance, Chief Justice Wambuzi reports in that speech that 3 professional magistrates appointed failed to take up appointments, opting instead to serve elsewhere. Today, the reverse is true. Your Excellency, the Judicial Service Commission, I am told, is overwhelmed with more applications and positions available. This, in part, is due to the enhancement of the welfare of judicial officers, which has now been secured by the enactment and coming into force of the Administration of Judiciary Act 2020. Cabinet has recently approved a new structure for the judiciary, and the structure expands by providing for 21 justices of the Supreme Court, 8 regional courts of appeal, 150 justices of the High Court, a chief magistrate in each district, and a grade 1 magistrate at every constituency. Cabinet has also approved the enhancement of salaries for members of the lower bench. The ongoing construction of the appellate courts at this venue where we are, Your Excellency, I refer to the Twin Towers behind us, is testament of the fact that government has continued to address the historical problem of lack of buildings to house the courts of Uganda. Uganda's courts of record will finally soon have a permanent home. And reading a number of speeches on this matter, therefore, one realizes we are not where we are. Much has been achieved on this front. Those of us who believe in the Bible at this point would gladly say, Ebenezer, thus far the Lord has helped us. Discussions between the executive and the judiciary have always been, in the author's words, cordial, serious, and frank. But the relationship between the executive and the judiciary has not always been a comfortable one, or one without challenges. A section of the book is devoted to the theme of independence of the judiciary, and in the past, worse tensions have existed, such as those surrounding the disappearance of Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA, in whose honor today's event is named, and whom Chief Justice Wakawambuzi succeeded in office. Notably, one recognizes through the speeches that through dialogue, a lot has been achieved in resolving challenges like encouraging the army to exercise restraint and respect human rights and court decisions. Nevertheless, today more subtle tensions abound on matters of principle, such as the question of bail, but these are now more delicately handled with a robust exchange of ideas. Some speeches in the book highlight these tensions and the spirit of mutual respect exhibited between these two arms of government in handling these sensitivities. Your Excellency, the second audience for which the book is suited are the present and intending members of the judiciary. The book recognizes the relationship between development partners who supported the judiciary when resources were scarce. This is critical in identifying key partners in the work of the judiciary. It traverses several themes such as judicial discretion, the need to ensure that judicial officers deliver their obligations to the country, alternative dispute resolution, law reform and the future of judicial practice, and how to address the constant pains relating to case backlog in the judiciary. There are key tips on good judgment writing, and included as a good example in this regard is Chief Justice Wakawambuzi's dissenting decision in Shah versus the Attorney General. His speech on discipline in the judiciary at the opening of the annual law year of 1998 provides a candid account of the tensions between Chief Justice Wakawambuzi and the principal judge at the time. But more importantly, it underscores the need for an orderly and disciplined judiciary. Various speeches emphasize key themes that every judicial officer ought to keep in mind as they administer justice. The need to continuously build their knowledge through continuing judicial education, the need to ensure equality, fairness, and maintain an attitude of service to the people, and in some speeches he repeats his thoughts on corruption in the judiciary, and expresses the view that this ought not be countenanced at all. The book also provides insights on perspectives on unique questions of law. His speech in Ottawa in 1995 provides an astute summary of how to incorporate tribal and customary law in adjudication of cases. Recent decisions, such as one by Justice Sekana on Buganda culture, and the recent decision resolving Kanyamunyu versus Uganda, show us that these issues will always be with us. Two sections, one on his personal experiences and the other on his human side, contain a collection of speeches that remind us that a judicial officer needs to stay in touch with their human side. One must remain humble and do their best to maintain good and lasting relationships. From several speeches in the book, the reader easily sees that many resources were gained from several partnerships struck with various people across the world, and the judiciary benefited immensely. Eulogies given at the passing of fellow judges remind us of how fleeting life is, and that even as custodians of enormous power, judges will always remain, at their core, part of the Ugandan society and not above it. The third audience, Your Excellency, to which the book is best suited are the members of the bar. My colleagues who are streaming online would know that the section of the book is devoted to law practice, ethics, and social justice. His advice on the importance of excellence in skill and industry and the need for lawyers to embrace alternative dispute resolution are as relevant today as they were decades ago. Chief Justice Wakawambuzi's speech to the Law Society on the 5th of July 1974 on the role of the advocate is a quintessential and timeless masterpiece that is as relevant today as it was 47 years ago. In this speech, the advocate comes full view with the tripartite duty to himself, to his client, and to the wider society. These and several speeches contain excellent counsel on how to build a successful legal practice and career. As King Solomon in the Bible once put it, counsel in the heart of a man is like deep waters. A man of understanding draws it out. Your Excellency, the third audience to which the book is suited, the fourth audience to which the book is suited is the wider Ugandan audience. As I mentioned in the beginning, this book is, in a sense, a historicization of the journey of Uganda's judiciary. This history is intertwined with the history of the country. The facts and patterns it reveals are important to us all. Whether one reads the book for the value of its historical account or for the wealth of knowledge it provides, all Ugandans of goodwill ought to remember the road we have traveled over the 47 years since 1974. We can all learn from these events of the past as we look to our posterity. It was Mark Twain who once said, "History does not repeat itself, but it rhymes." The book contains and tells of Uganda's story and journey. Chief Justice Wambuzi, perhaps unintentionally, paints the canvas of history by providing the reader with an opportunity to visualize the struggles that could not be told better or in more graphic ways. In my view, no Ugandan in living history other than he who succeeded Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA would have been better suited to more masterfully articulate the challenge of the abiding tensions between military forces and civilian judicial systems between the Idi Amin time and the events that followed, as the retired Chief Justice does in a previous BENEDICTO KIWANUKA memorial lecture. It is pertinent that the book ends with Chief Justice Wambuzi's speech delivered on 29th December 2018, in which he reflects on the Uganda he would like to see. These pages are a poignant discourse on Uganda's past and present prospects and challenges. Looking back, the author provides us with 6 critical reflections on the future of the country and the judiciary he served for nearly his entire working life. Among others, these include his concerns on degeneration of the moral fiber of the Ugandan society, the considerable violation or failure to observe and obey the law, the respect for separation of powers, the public outcry about delays in disposal of cases in judiciary, and the 2 I will let the reader discover for themselves when they encounter the book. How could we have come so far, yet grapple with the same questions? It behooves each reader to reflect on their role in building the country they would want to see. We hope that Chief Justice Wambuzi's reflections provide a good starting point. I am grateful to Emeritus Chief Justice Wambuzi and Justice Egon Nantende of the Court of Appeal for the opportunity to participate in preparing such a vital treatise on the administration of justice in Uganda through the years. I commend this book to everyone interested in the success of Uganda's judiciary and in the critical role that justice plays in nation building. I am confident that I speak for my co-editor when I say that I hope you will find reading the book as deeply meaningful and reflective as we did in putting together. I thank you for your kind attention, and I say all this for God and my country.
Mr. Robert Chirunda, thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you for using 10 minutes to take us down history line of 500 pages that you have summarized and now given us a clear view of what the book is about. Your Excellency, we are moving very well with our program. We have been given a summary of the book that is due to be launched shortly. Allow me, with your permission, Your Excellency, just before we go to the launch of the book, to humbly introduce to you the guests here so that you know who is here just before we proceed to the launch. Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, with us, we have the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, who has also attended this for his first time or maiden visit to the judiciary as Speaker. You're most welcome, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, we have the host, the Honorable, the Chief Justice of Uganda. My Lord, you're welcome. Your Excellency, we have the Honorable Chief Justice Emeritus Benjamin Odoki. My Lord, you're most welcome. We also have the Honorable Chief Justice Emeritus Bat Magunda Katurebe. My Lord, you're most welcome. Your Excellency, we also have the Honorable the Deputy Chief Justice. My Lord, you're most welcome. Your Excellency, we have the Honorable the Deputy Attorney General, Honorable Jackson Kafuzi is with us. You're welcome. Your Excellency, we have the Honorable the Principal Judge, Dr. Flavian Vizeja is with us. Your Excellency, we have retired Justice of Appeal, Remy Kasule, and he has been attending and being part of the several organizing committees of this function. Your Excellency, we have justices and judges of the courts of judicature whom I request to stand together for recognition. In the interest of time, my lords, you're most welcome. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, we have the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, Mr. Pius Bigirimana, is wearing the Judiciary Administrator's gown. Your Excellency, we have the President of the Uganda Law Society, Ms. Fiona Wall. She spoke earlier. We also have the President of the East African Law Society, Mr. Bernard Owundo. You're welcome. Your Excellency, we have members of the family of the late Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA, led by Ambassador Kajimu. You're welcome. Your Excellency, we also have members of the family of Chief Justice Emeritus Wakawambuzi who have joined us. Please stand up for recognition. You're welcome. Your Excellency, we also have the Deputy Head of Office of the Austrian Embassy, Dr. Katia. She's with us. You're welcome. Your Excellency, we have the registrars and magistrates and members of the bar, whom I request to stand for recognition jointly. Your worships and members of the bar, you're most welcome. Your Excellency, we also have senior administrators of the judiciary who have joined us. You can also stand for recognition. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Your Excellency, lastly, in a special way, we recognize the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Honorable Lady Justice Jane Francis Abodo. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Those are the participants in this event. Your Excellency, we shall now proceed with our program, and we go to the launch of the book. And I will request the family of Chief Justice Emeritus Wakawambuzi to step forward. We have his daughter here and her dear husband, Diane and Francis Senyonjo, together with Dr. Frederick Kauma. Please step forward, and then we shall go to the launch. So coming forward is the daughter of CJ Emeritus. We shall also request the Right Honorable Speaker and the Honorable Chief Justice to join at this particular event. My lords, so moving to the launch to join His Excellency and Mama, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, the Honorable the Chief Justice, and the family of Chief Justice Emeritus Wakawambuzi, launching the book, Administration and Delivery of Justice in Uganda Through the Years. So the book has been launched and signed by His Excellency. Right now they are taking a photograph with family. Your Excellency, we thank you so much for launching the book. His Excellency is speaking to the daughter of CJ Emeritus. Your Excellency, thank you very much for launching the book. The book is now launched and copies available at the back of this tent for those who will be interested in securing copies. A copy goes for Uganda shillings 50,000. Okay, thank you, Your Excellency. We shall be proceeding with our program. All right. We will be proceeding with our program. What is next is going to be the presentation of the Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Awards of 2021. And I will be inviting the Honorable, the Principal Judge, who will give us the citation of the awardees for this year. Many people have been wondering who are the people going to be awarded. That moment is at hand, where we will be unveiling the awardees. And again, after they have been unveiled, we shall be guided on where they will go to receive this award. My Lord, the Honorable, the Principal Judge, His Excellency allowed us to proceed with the program. I would like to invite you at this moment to give us the citation of the awardees.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and Mama, the Honorable Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, the Honorable the Chief Justice, Honorable the Chief Justice Emeritus, the Deputy Chief Justice, the Honorable Attorney General, let me adopt the protocol which the Chief Registrar read in detail in the interest of time. Your Excellency, the first awardee of the Honorable BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Award 2021 is an esteemed gentleman who was a pupil state attorney in 1969, later appointed an acting judge in 1978, and a judge in 1980. He was the Director of Public Prosecutions in 1981 and a Justice of Appeal in 1986. He also served as Chairman of the Uganda Constitutional Commission, Chairman of the Judicial Service Commission, and the Director of Law Development Center. He was appointed Chief Justice of Uganda from 2001 to 2013 and was the longest serving Chief Justice in Uganda. He has, maybe before that I need to mention his current engagements. He is the judge of the Supreme Court of Eswatini. Those who don't know Eswatini, you need to Google the famous dance. He is the Judge Administrative Tribunal of the East African Development Bank. He's Chancellor, Lira University. And Your Excellency, he's holding an important role. He's chairperson, Committee of Experts drafting the Constitution of the Political Federation of the East Africa. He has received the Gusi Peace Prize International Award from the Philippine International Convention Center for Social Justice and Humanitarian Law, as well as a Distinguished Jurist Award by the Nigerian Association of Democratic Lawyers. He has led an illustrious career contributing jurisprudence through precedents as well as literary works. He contributed to the administration of justice over the years, and his defense to the rule of law throughout his legal career is indisputable. He has authored a number of books. Some of them were my Bible when I was an advocate, especially in the area of criminal law. You could not enter court without Justice Odoki's book on criminal law. It is therefore my singular honor, Your Excellency, and pleasure to announce the first recipient of the Honorable BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Life Achievement Award 2021, the Chief Justice Emeritus Benjamin Joseph Odoki. The second awardee of the Honorable BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Award 2021, it would be befitting to say that the awardee I'm about to present was a jack of all trades. From 1975 to 1983, he worked as a state attorney in the Ministry of Justice. From 1983 to 1988, he took his chances at private practice. From 1988 to 1992, he served as a minister in different ministries. He was a member of the National Resistance Council from 1992 to 1986, and from 1994 to 1995, he was elected member of the Constituent Assembly representing Bunyaruguru County, Rubirizi District. And as you recall, he also served as our Attorney General. As we recognize him today for his contribution to the administration of justice, it is worth noting that he is also highly rated in other jurisdictions. On December 8, 2020, he was appointed as a member of the International Commercial Experts Committee of the Supreme Court of the People's Republic of China. This esteemed gentleman has served in all the three arms of Uganda's government. In 2004, Chambers Global named him one of Uganda's leading lawyers. He was once the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. He served 2 terms as a member of the Judicial Service Commission and was appointed as a Justice of the Supreme Court in 2005. On the 22nd May 2015, he was appointed the Chief Justice of Uganda. Before he retired in 2020, he left his judicial family the benefit of having the administration of the Judiciary Act 2020 assented to by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. This law ushered the judiciary to its new identity as an independent arm of government. He has no doubt contributed considerably to the administration of justice and rule of law over decades. I present to you the second beneficiary of the Honorable BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Life Achievement Award 2021, the Chief Justice Emeritus Bart Magunda Katurebe. For God and my country, Your Excellency.
Thank you, my Lord, the Honorable, the Principal Judge, for presenting the 2 awardees of the BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Life Achievement Award 2021. Your Excellency, it is now the moment to present these 2 awards to the distinguished awardees who have received them, and we will be guided on where this will happen. So as they move, you may be wondering why the 2 awardees passed the committee test. One of them was because of their active and fearless promotion of the rule of law. Secondly, their notable promotion to access to justice. Thirdly, their remarkable contribution to the administration of justice. And lastly, distinguished service with integrity. Those 4 yardsticks enable the 2 awardees today to receive that very, very distinguished award. I wish to thank the awards committee. His Excellency is now handing over the award to CJ Emeritus Benjamin Odoki. Congratulations, my Lord, for receiving that award. His Lordship Bart Katureve is now receiving the award. Congratulations, my Lord. And as you notice, the picture has the CJ Emeritus and the Chief Justice. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. My Lords, as you resume your seats, I invite the Deputy Chief Justice to invite the Honorable Chief Justice to make his speech.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda and the First Lady, my Lord, the Chief Justice, may I invite you to address us.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and Mama, the First Lady, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, the Honorable Chief Justices Emeritus, the Honorable the Deputy Chief Justice, the Honorable the Deputy Attorney General, the Honorable the Principal Judge, the Honorable Justices of the Supreme Court, of the Court of Appeal, and judges of the High Court, the distinguished ladies and gentlemen who were listed by the Chief Registrar earlier on today, a protocol which permit me to adopt. Your Excellency, on behalf of the Judiciary of Uganda, which I am privileged to head, I take this opportunity to profusely thank you for personally gracing the 4th annual BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Memorial, despite your very busy schedule. I also warmly welcome all the other distinguished persons here present on this occasion. I do believe a host of judicial officers, other members of the legal fraternity, and other esteemed persons are attending through the technological innovation such as Zoom. I appreciate your individual participation in this function, which is of enormous importance to the judiciary and the entire country. It was 49 years ago, last week, specifically on the 21st of September, when operatives of the ignoble regime of Idi Amin crudely and blatantly abducted Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA, the first Ugandan national to become Chief Justice of Uganda, from his chambers in the High Court building just before me here, and disappeared him. The Judiciary of Uganda has, for the 4th successive year running now, accorded the indomitable fallen Chief Justice a deserving memorial in honor and recognition of his remarkable contribution to multiple facets of the Ugandan society of his time. As a private legal practitioner, politician and statesman who cherished living in a country governed on the basis of a democratic dispensation and observance of the rule of law and respect for human rights. And as a judicial officer, where his commendable career pursuit was cut short by forces of evil because of his uncompromising stance on the issues of justice and rule of law.
and defense of human rights, for which he paid the ultimate price. The theme for this year's memorial, Administration and Delivery of Justice Through the Years, is derived from the book by Honorable Chief Justice Samuel Wakawambuzi, who was the immediate successor of Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA, and who also presided over the Judiciary of Uganda for an aggregate period of over 2 decades, namely from 1971 to 1975, 1979 to 1980, and then 1986 to 2001. There is arguably no better person to speak with authority about the metamorphosis of the administration of justice in Uganda than Chief Justice Wambuzi, who has had such an unequaled tenure at the helm of the Ugandan judiciary, and who continues to demonstrate that the Ugandan judiciary is his other home. It is sad and unfortunate that he's not able to be with us today, as we are told he's been taken ill, and we pray Godspeed in his recovery. To the judicial officers of this country and all the justice service providers, we must always take cognizance of the fact that Chief Justice Ben KIWANUKA has set the bar for the administration of justice very high for us. Therefore, in the exercise of our mandate, we must always be driven by the need to respect and protect the rights of everyone, advance the rule of law, and promote the cause of justice in accordance with the oath we each took, namely, to do right to all manner of people in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established, and in accordance with the laws and usage of the Republic of Uganda, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. And at the end of which oath, we beseeched the Lord to help us live by that oath. There is no denying, Your Excellency and dear participants, that the cancer of corruption exists in the judiciary. But this is because the judiciary is an integral part of our society, which has sadly been pervaded by this monster. There is the endemic delay in rendering justice and unacceptable conduct within the judiciary in the name of independence of the exercise of judicial function. Your Excellency, let me dwell on this. The Constitution accords independence in judicial function. It is a function which every one of us must protect for judicial work to be done. However, and this you've spoken about, and I thought I should seize this opportunity to mention, the exercise of judicial function comes with responsibility. Independence of judicial function must be done within the constitutional provisions according such independence and protection. In one word, responsibility. I'll take an example which has been of great concern to Your Excellency, the grant of bail by judicial officers. The Constitution gives discretion to judicial officers to grant bail. But the law itself and decided cases abound that the exercise of discretion must be judiciously done. A judicial officer does not wake up from the wrong side of the bed and deny bail to an applicant, or wake up from the right side of the bed and grant bail to all and sundry. The rules for grant of for bail, and this is just one instance where discretion is exercised, is very clear. There are many factors in addition to the judicial official or officer satisfying himself or herself that the applicant will actually turn up for hearing when the time comes. But there are many other factors. It is the duty of a judicial officer to look at the entire circumstance when considering bail. There are instances, for example, where a grant of bail may work adversely against the applicant. We know of cases where people have taken up the law into their hands and consigned beneficiaries of bail to their graves. We know that capital offenses of whatever nature is of grave concern to the community. So in the exercise of judicial discretion to grant bail, it is the duty of a judicial officer to look at all these circumstances and boldly, without fear or favor, make the decision whether to grant or not to grant. For me, as head of the Judiciary, I would like to see judicial officers taking into account these considerations and noting them down, so that there is no doubt as to what could have moved a particular judicial officer to grant bail or to exercise discretion in other circumstances where the law permits the exercise of discretion. Your Excellency, I remember it was at your instance that we should have had a meeting between you and the entire judicial officers of this country. This was before COVID-19 set in with the consequential decision to lock down. It is my hope that sooner than later an opportunity will present itself. Judicial officers are about 400 only. An opportunity will present itself where we can have frank, meaningful, and useful discussion about this subject and others which you have repeatedly raised are of very important ideological they present very important ideological discussion. Your Excellency, corruption, the delay in rendering justice negate the ideals for which Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA paid with his life. Justice must never ever be for sale. It is monstrously repugnant to turn justice into a commodity, thereby according justice to the highest bidder. The Judiciary administration has zero tolerance for the repugnant ill of corruption. Your Excellency, I can say with utmost certitude, the Chief Justice of Uganda, the Deputy Chief Justice of Uganda, the Principal Judge, the Secretary to the Judiciary, the Chief Registrar, who constitute the top management of the Judiciary, have zero tolerance for any form of corruption, be it the crude corruption of exchange of monies or the other soft corruption, which may not even involve exchange of monies, but which conflict with the oath we took, not to fear, not to favor, not to be driven by affection, or not to bear ill will against people we may not be agreeing with for whatever reason. The fight against real or perceived corruption in the judiciary cannot be left to the judiciary administration alone, and can never be successful when our society tolerates corruption and adores corrupt persons. This is the new culture in this country, where we don't even ask. In my village when we were growing up, if a child came home with something which you did not have, the parents would ask, where did you get this? And if the child said, I got it from such a person, the child would be escorted to that home to establish that indeed the child got that from that home. In this country, the corrupt are heroes. They are adored. Those who live righteously are scorned because they have nothing. So it will take more than just the judiciary to fight corruption in this country. It is certainly very painful that any one judicial officer can even contemplate trading justice like a commodity. But to bring this to an end, I remember we walked from these grounds just behind us here the other year up to Kololo when you declared war on corruption. The fight against corruption is our individual and collective responsibility. Corruption is an abomination that must be confronted head-on. In the African culture, when something is an abomination, it is unthinkable that anyone can do it. An abomination is the type of thing which you would never ever permit, you would never ever tolerate. We must all do what it takes to make corrupt practices a very unworthy enterprise. We cannot claim to be honoring BENEDICTO KIWANUKA when cases take over 5 years in our courts to dispose of, when litigants wait in vain and die of old age without seeing justice done because it takes over 10 years for a case to be disposed of, if ever. When our justice processes are characterized by case backlog, we cannot truly honor BENEDICTO KIWANUKA, Your Excellency, when our people still have to travel 200 kilometers to find a high court service. It's like traveling from Kampala to Tororo or thereabout to find one high court building and a judge, if you're lucky. Or to travel 70 kilometers to find a magistrate's court. We shall only truly render justice to our people when court premises, like safe water, are within a walking distance from those who seek justice. We can only truly serve justice to our people when a litigant can file a case on the 1st of January of a year and get his judgment not later than the 31st of December of the same year. Namibia has done it. Your Excellency, I've just come back from a meeting of Chief Justices of the Southern African area. That is below the Sahara Desert, below the Maghreb. I had a discussion with my counterpart from Namibia, In Namibia, a case is backlogged if it takes more than 6 months in court. In Uganda, it is 2 years, and we say, oh, at least it was finished within 2 years for it not to be backlogged. I have given the other example of Malaysia before. How has Namibia achieved this? Namibia has got a population of 2 million people. But it has got 140 magistrates. Half of the magistrates Uganda, with a population of 45 million people, has. They have over 20 high court judges. I was never good in mathematics, but I did some arithmetic. If you divide 45 by 2, you come to around 22. So for Uganda to also come down to 6 months for cases to be disposed of, you need to multiply 144 by 22. That would be the requisite magistrate Uganda needs. You need to multiply their Court of Appeal of 7 justices by 22, and so on and so forth. Malaysia has done it. Your Excellency, we can do it. We can surely do it. The magic lies in correlation of the number of judicial officers with the size of the population, and in addition, the pursuit of technological innovations. Now, on the other hand, while I have stated my position on the judiciary and what needs to be done by judicial officers, let me also say this. We continue to witness victims of torture and other abuse of human rights brought to court. Cases of fabricated evidence that cannot stand in court abound. Instances of refusal to respect decisions of courts are frequently reported to us, and we know not what else to do. All these unfortunate practices pour cold water on the memory of BENEDICTO KIWANUKA. It is on a day such as this, when we honor the memory of our gallant judicial officer, that we must each of us rededicate and recommit ourselves to ensure that this country enjoys the rule of law and democratic dispensation. We can only honor our fallen Chief Justice when court orders are enforced timely and respected by every person and authority in the land, and when torture, unlawful arrest and detention, and quid pro quo in exchange for justice is history in our country. We can only overcome the ills that afflict the judiciary and our society at large when the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive act in concert with one voice to ensure that the much desired and pursued socio-economic transformation of our country is realized. The judiciary has taken strides towards removal of impediments that have inhibited us from effective delivery of justice to our people. We have embarked on a number of priorities, including the implementation of the Judiciary Strategic Plan 2020-21, 2025-26 to 2025-26, these 3 years. Some of the strategic objectives are these: to enhance equitable access to judiciary services, where everyone, every single person in this country enjoys ease in accessing justice, where justice is not a purview of the few, those who have the means, but for every ordinary person. Just like with safe water, which Your Excellency, you are distinguished for having done for this country. I come from a very rural area. I speak with authority on the issue of safe water. We look forward to that day when justice, like safe water, is just taken for granted, like the air we breathe. Our other objectives is to improve court processes and case management, to strengthen the use of ICT in the administration of justice, to develop and support the judiciary workforce and institutional capacity, to improve coordination, partnerships, and accountability, to improve public awareness and the image of the judiciary, and to enhance resource mobilization and management. I will be dwelling at greater length on this in my address to the nation, as is required of me by the Administration of Justice Act, to give an account to the people of Uganda, the state of the judiciary, once every year. That I should be able to do in early October. Your Excellency, in the pursuit of this strategic plan, the judiciary has received an unprecedented boost from government. This financial year, 2021-2022, the judiciary budget has seen a massive leap by being doubled from the religiously kept 199 billion for many years to Uganda shillings 375 billion. I seize the opportunity of this occasion to express our profound appreciation to Your Excellency for the stand you have taken and demonstrated to ensure that the judiciary budget rises up, and with the undertaking that in the medium term it is destined to clock Uganda shillings 800 billion. This will provide the people of and in Uganda with a robust and effective judiciary whose services are felt by the people. When we presented our budget to Your Excellency, I'm just reminding you, we were pleading with you as head of the executive to give us the capacity to deploy a magistrate grade 1 in every constituency. We thought that was great. You said no, why a constituency? There are about 2,000 sub-counties in this country. We can afford to have a magistrate grade 1 in every sub-county of this country. This came from you. And indeed, our budget, which was around 770 something, you said bring it to 800. So the 800 I'm proud to speak about was your creation, was your child. By the time we reach in the medium term, in about 3 years, God willing, by the time we reach this, and I hope we do this when I still hate this institution, I would love to put in place a rule whereby each judicial officer before whom a case takes more than 12 months must give an explanation in writing to the Chief Justice why a case has taken more than 12 months in court. Then and only then can we proudly say, yes, we are rendering justice to our people. It can be done. Other people have done it. So if we are given the capacity, if we are strengthened to have the human force, the human manpower, if the technological innovations that the world is pursuing in every sector, including the judiciary, is strengthened in this country, I should, before my retirement, be able to say 12 months is too much. case backlog must start from just a few months. It will then be an abomination to hear that the case has taken 2 years in court. This can be done, Your Excellency, when we have the will, and you've shown the way. You've shown the way that it can be done, and we have faith. With the 375 billion shillings which was appropriated by Parliament to the Judiciary, we are targeting this financial year alone a fairly sizable number of judicial officers. We'll soon recruit 14 judges of the High Court, 32 chief magistrates, meaning the former chief magistrate areas will all now be covered, so that one judicial officer at the rank of chief magistrate does not have to go and do relief work in another magisterial area. We will recruit 142 grade 1 magistrates. Your Excellency, this means we will be able to start on the constituency allocation of judicial officers we have spoken about for so long. It will not cover every constituency, but we'll be able to have in a good number of constituencies. And then hopefully the coming financial year, every constituency should be able to have a judicial officer. And similarly, every district in this country should be able to have a chief magistrate. We will also recruit a corresponding number of support staff. Some of the areas that have not had judicial officers for as long as the elders of the areas can remember will do so this financial year. And by the time we finish the period of the medium period, we should be able to do wonders for the people of this country. We seek to strengthen coordination linkages between the judiciary and other arms of government, the justice, law and order institutions, development partners, and all the other justice providers. Independence of the three arms of government does not mean a prohibition of these arms from working together. A country cannot achieve any enduring peace, stability, and socio-economic development unless when the three arms of government operate in tandem with each other. They each have functions clearly spelled out in the Constitution, and for effective governance, government service, their functions are complementary to one another. They are each accorded oversight responsibility over each other to ensure full realization of the people's desires. Your Excellency, the Constitution of Uganda underscores this point of working together in harmony when it gives the President responsibility in all the three arms of government. The more obvious one is as head of the executive, which all of us know. But the Constitution also places you as a critical player in the enactment of laws, because your signature is so important. It is only in very rare circumstances that Parliament may have to do without your signature. That means there's something wrong. Then, and many people do not realize this, the Constitution also gives you a final say in sections of judicial work. When a person has been convicted of a capital offense and has been sentenced to death by the trial court, and all the appellate attempts to have this overturned or minimized fails, the only person who can save that person from being hanged is you, as the president. In other words, the president of Uganda is the last appellate court on sentence, including for theft of chicken. You are the last appellate court on sentence. Because the fellow who has been given 3 years, you could choose tomorrow to commemorate independence to set him free. Because the person who has been condemned to suffer death in accordance with the law can be saved by you as the last appellate court. So this underscores the point that the three arms of government are not strangers to one another. They should not operate from positions of belligerence. They should operate in harmony, but without losing sight of their constitutional responsibility to do their part. I once again extend my appreciation to Your Excellency and Mama First Lady, and to all of you for turning up physically or by remote means for the memorial lecture in honor of Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA, to celebrate his laudable and memorable contributions to the administration of justice and the rule of law in our country. I wish to thank the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice and the organizing committee that he chaired for the success of this day, given that we are operating against a backdrop of the menace of COVID-19 pandemic. May God bless all of us. Thank you. Your Excellency, permit me to invite you to address this congregation. Thank you.
The Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, His Lordship the Chief Justice, their Lordships the Chief Justices Emeritus, Deputy Chief Justice, Principal Judge, and all the distinguished people who are here. You Abanyankole people say, Otejuka Tazumura. This was using the imagery of bride price. With the Banyankole, when you come to take the bride price, you go to the herd of cows and you select the best you want. If somebody wants to come and take your daughter. So when they are selecting the bride price, no restriction. They are entitled to take the best. But in case you separate with the woman, then there is a kuzumura, which your court stopped some time ago. I don't know how it is working now. Because the traditional way was that with the divorce, some cows must be refunded. And when it comes to the refund, the one who took the best normally selects the worst to give back. Why? Because he has not remembered. Okwijuka. To remember. So I'm very glad that the judiciary has remembered BENEDICTO KIWANUKA. Because it is the one who doesn't remember that does not pay back. Because that's what the other proverb says. So I'm glad that the judiciary remembered BENEDICTO KIWANUKA. And I will say more about KIWANUKA later. Secondly, I go to the Bible. This time I use Uganda. Buli muntu yana kyasiga kyekyakungula. This is from the Bible. Whatever man sows, that's what he harvests. Now, the people who killed BENEDICTO KIWANUKA thought they were very smart. I don't know what they thought. Those who were killing people those days, I would ask some of them who were in that system. They can tell me their reasoning. What did they think? You pick a chief justice, you kill him, you think that's the end? Or you kill any person, forget chief justice? You can see that these people were big miscalculators. They didn't know what would work and what would not work. Now, more than 40 years now, it's more, it's 48 years. 48 years now, 49 almost. We are here. We are remembering KIWANUKA. We are condemning Idi Amin. And all those that were with him. So this is a good lesson for the people who may have authority to know that sooner or later you will be accountable for bad things or good things. That is the second point I wanted to mention today. The third one, I can see that the judiciary don't know very well our hunting regulations. You know, in the tribes, we have got hunting regulations. When you go to hunt, you divide jobs. There are people to see where the animal has slept. Banyankore kori tokuraza. Then very early in the morning, you have got people to come and beat the bush to frighten the animal. They call it tokshochoza. And then there are the people who put nets to trap the animal. Ebigoye bitimba, Oktega, that is Oktega now. And then there are the people who wait behind the nets. They call it Okugurra. Now, when the animal comes, the one who spears first, that's the one who has killed the animal. Wajibans. Then the second is called Okinga. It's called Okinga. I was about to forget the word. So when it comes to sharing, everybody has got a share. Now, I think even the judiciary, you have not understood the hunting regulations well. I challenge you to go back and revise. Because Kiwanuka was killed by Idi Amin, who revenged for the killing of Kiwanuka? It was not just the lawyers. And I would like to read Chief Justice Wakawambuzi's book. Does Chief Justice Wakawambuzi recognize the freedom fighters? Because they are the ones who avenged for the death of Kiwanuka. We are the ones who spared the animal. I think you people, you came to add something. I don't know what you added. But the animal was spared by the freedom fighters. But when you make speeches, I don't hear talking about freedom fighters. Because these bad governments would never have gone away, would never have had the recovery if your people did not sacrifice. For years, and many died. Some of them were actually lawyers. Some of the people who died, but in the struggle, we are lawyers. Like Martin Mwesiga was a lawyer, was with us. So I would like you to revise the hunting regulations of the tribes, so that in your documents and so on, you capture the history of the struggle, the multifaceted struggle of the people of Uganda to bring stability. Now, point number 4, I'm very glad the Chief Justice has touched on it. There's something you have been dancing around. Again, the two constituencies. The constituency of 3, actually. The population, the freedom fighters, and the legal fraternity, who are normally trained in Western concepts. Lord Denny and all those people. I used to pick those stories in the university from my lawyer friends, Kategaya or Pakabulo. I also did law as a subject for 1 year. And that's why I picked up racial dissidendus, dictum something. I picked up some few Latin words. And I also was annoyed by Regina versus Amukeyo, 1917. Actually, that's why I really became, I was very much annoyed by that case. But given the history of our country, there are those of us who took the line of no, we shall fight. Because this arrogance started in 1966, when Obote abrogated the Constitution. What? You? How can you abrogate our Constitution? Of course, I'm very lucky that I have seen and been part of all this almost from the very beginning. So therefore, that's how you had that stream of people who said we must fight. Now, as we were fighting, we had our own ideological view of justice. And I have given you the example of how we really planted the NRM, how the NRM became the majority force in the country. It was 1982 in Semuto, a village called Mulule. We were fighting. There were different groups, Kaira, government army. But I think the people were watching us. They were watching us. These people, who is who? Now, in 1982, I think there were 2 of our boys killed Wananchi, 3 Wananchi, in the village of Mulule, near Semuto. So when they killed the Wananchi, we had our local judicial system headed by Mrs. Mkwaya, because she was a magistrate and she had joined us. They tried that case of the soldiers, then they handed it to us, to the High Command. So I was the Chief Justice, Chairman of the High Command. Now, when they handed it to us, we had one of our people who had trained in law at Makerere, Jim Mwezi. So when they brought these children, boys who had killed people, Jim Mwezi brought your Western concept. He said, look here. The leader of the boys who killed people was called Zabroni. He was from Ankole. They said, it is not Zabroni, this is Jim Mwezi now. It is not Zabroni who killed the people. It was the beer inside Zabroni. So what do we do? If Zabroni became the jerrycan of carrying beer, and because of that he kills people, what do we do? It was very, very sensitive. Actually, that's what made the NRM a majority force in Uganda, because there were other groups. So we said no. If Zabroni made himself a jerrycan of beer, and because of that he caused the death of Ugandans, he must die. So we executed these boys. That's what changed the NRM, the political landscape of Uganda. The Baganda people were able to say, Bano Balinama Zima. These are people of the truth. That's how Uganda's history changed. Even today, in spite of the corruption of some NRM people, mistakes, you still hear the people saying, at least we sleep. So therefore, this concept of justice, we must harmonize. We can't go on like this. I'm glad the Chief Justice talked about it, talked about responsibility. I have read I may have some issues with my brother, His Lordship Benjamin Odochi, because he was the head of the Constitutional Commission. There is a way he suppressed our line, which is the line of the masses, because I have said there are 3 constituencies: the masses, the freedom fighters, and you, the legal fraternity, who are mainly of the Western way of Lord Denning and all that. Now, I have got the record. If you go back, Your Lordship Odoki, and all of you, you go and check. When they were going around, the population were saying there should be no bail for certain offenses. I have checked in the minutes of the Constitutional Review Commission of his Lordship Benjamin Odoki. The people did not want bail for certain offenses, because that's our traditional justice. With the Banyankore, there's no way you can kill a person and you beat about the bush. Yes, they can see what is butandu, accidental killing. They can see it. But reckless killing, like the one of Zabroni who made himself a jerrycan of beer, intentional killing must be fully accounted for. There is no other way. This is our traditional system. So, but when his lordship, Benjamin Odoku, wrote his final report, they brought in this question of giving the discretion to the judiciary to give bail or not, even in the capital offenses. Okay, we saw it, but we didn't fight, because we could have fought it. Because at least it was giving power to the judiciary to decide, as the CJ said, responsibly. But now, in no time, we are now being told that bail is a right. Really? Somebody has killed a person and you see him walking here. This is a provocation, I can tell you. This is a provocation. We cannot accept it. And the CJ made it very clear that that's why people are taking the law in their own hands. They killed somebody in Lira the other day. The one who cut his wife, the people didn't want to wait. They just killed him. Here in Gomba, people killed a surveyor who had gone to survey land. The villagers killed him. So we are now in a problem. The problem. The issue, the Banyankore, if you wrong me, is wrong me in other ways, like you abuse, you do this, that's okchumura. It's like an abomination. And we can only sort it out if you okonga, if you compensate me. Then for murder, if you kill, that's enzigunao. It's a vendetta. And the vendetta must be resolved by my clan killing somebody in your clan. It can't be. And if I don't revenge, if I don't kora, or kora is revenge, the ghost of the dead person on my side will kill me. So I'm duty bound to revenge. Now, the other clan, knowing that one of them has caused them a problem, must approach us, must approach my clan and say, please, don't revenge on us. Let us, I think in our church people call it matoput, something like that. But the Banyankore call it okaraba. So the Africans don't insist on killing for killing, but there must be full accountability. In this case, it's called okaraba, where you pay a lot of cows, then a ceremony is performed, then the blood of the dead person is washed away. And it's forgotten, and you become friends again. So therefore, this bail is a big provocation. We are going to address it. Also, politically, we are going to, constitutionally, we are going to mobilize ourselves. I'm glad the CJ has, because it will cause us problems. It will discredit the whole system, the government, the political side, but also the judiciary. Now, the other problem I'm beginning to see, ideological, again, departure, is this issue of maximum sentence, life imprisonment. Life imprisonment. But you killed a person. You are not put in jail for life. the one you killed is not in jail, he is dead. So for us, it is an eye for an eye. The question of commuting the death sentence, that can come later, but it must be a life for a life. This is the way our people understand justice in the villages. This is the way we, the freedom fighters, understand it. So I'm very ready to engage with the judiciary, but we're also going to take it up politically, constitutionally, to see, because it is going to cause us a lot of problems. It's very dangerous. It's a very big provocation. The judges must be very careful. They are playing in a very dangerous area here, which we cannot accept. Now, coming to Mzee BENEDICTO KIWANUKA, Mzee BENEDICTO KIWANUKA suffered in two ways. He was a victim of Mengo, because Mengo mistreated him. You are only talking about the one side, the judicial side. Because when he was a lead of DP, and I was a member of DP myself, I was a very active youth winger. When the Mengo people wanted their federal and all those, KIWANUKA told them this: what you are asking for is not possible. So when you are talking of KIWANUKA, you must talk of that forthrightness. He was a forthright person. He told the Mengo people, those things you are asking for are not possible. Oh! Oh, that he has betrayed Uganda. So, Mengo, then Obote comes. Obote says, no, all those things you want, we shall give them to you. How will you give them to them? The commission had decided for a referendum in the Kibale. Who was the commissioner? I've forgotten his name. Not Wild. There was another one. Forgotten his name. The one of the lost counties. There must be a referendum after 2 years, and whatever Buyaga and Bugangese decide will be followed. Now Obote told Mengo people that they shall see how to change that. Change it. This was agreed in London, Lancaster House. How would you change it? So when it came for the referendum, Obote could not deliver because he was telling lies. So that's how it ended. They fall out, and then the fighting takes place in 1966, which would never have happened if Obote had followed the example of KIWANUKA to be forthright. The crisis of 1964-66 was caused by lack of straightforwardness. And this is what we have told these traditional leaders. In the CA, they brought all those. Federal, I don't know what. We said no. Yes, you can come back as traditional leaders, but no powers of administration, no powers of legislation, no powers of taxation. This is what NRM told those people. But some of the other groups go behind and whisper other things. That's why you find these people still running up and down. So for the NRM, we are in the tradition of Beni KIWANUKA. Not because I was only a DP member at that time, but because that was the truth. That is the correct way. So KIWANUKA was mistreated by, first and foremost, Mengo. That must be captured. I don't know who are writing, whatever they are writing, but I'm here because I was there. I have had the, the rare opportunity of being so active for so long and seeing what everything was happening. So then now you come Idi Amin. Comes Idi Amin. That's where I also disagree with my DP. Because I disagreed with them that time. Why did you agree to become Chief Justice of Idi Amin? Why? Idi Amin, that you are Chief Justice of Idi Amin. I think this was a mistake. They should have left Idi Amin. Idi Amin announced his coup at 3 o'clock on the 25th of January. We met. I was in Chireka. Immediately we called our group. We met in Yona Kanyomuzi's house in Bugorovi at 5. Amin had announced a curfew, and we said we are going to fight Idi Amin. So I think the DP and some of those people who worked with Amin, that they want to do something positive within Amin's government, I don't think it was correct. But still, he was a sacrifice. Maybe, I don't know how he calculated, but in my view, it should not have. Nobody should have worked with Idi Amin from the beginning. Nobody. They should all have said, sorry, we don't know what you are doing. We all walk away. We had problems with Obote. But Obote was somebody we could disagree here. Maybe we could work on some other things like the East African Federation. He appeared to be moving in that direction. So we had some conditional engagement with Obote. But with Amin, it was zero. It was a big mistake. So that shows you the history of Uganda, that because Amin didn't understand anything. He didn't understand anything. He did not value anything. And I don't know why anybody would have wasted even a day. And if they all had done that, actually the problem of Amin would have been solved much sooner than what happened. But in terms of analysis, because I was there, KIWANUKA and Uganda suffered because of two players, Mengo and of course Idi Amin. And Idi Amin is Obote, because who put Amin in power to be army commander and all that? Obote. Now, finally, not finally, as I go toward the end, this is connected to what I said a little earlier. The power of the judiciary, the independence of the judiciary. The CJ has explained it well. Independence should not mean belligerence between the arms. But I would add something, that independence of the judiciary cannot mean independence of the people of Uganda and their concept of justice. It can't mean that. You cannot say the people of Uganda think like this as far as justice is concerned, but for me, I think like this, and this is independence. No. No, it can't be that. Somehow, the CA had captured it well, where they said justice must capture the norms and the aspirations of the people. Somehow they captured it there. And this is what we need to clarify, that really the independence we are talking about is within the framework of the concept of justice of the people of Uganda. If there are things which are abhorrent to the people of Uganda, I don't think you should push those and you say this is the independence of the judiciary. I want to congratulate the CJs, Emeritus, my brother Odoki, my schoolmate, university mate, Dar es Salaam, for getting the award of KIWANUKA. I want to congratulate CJ Bat Katurebe for getting the award. And I want to thank those who organized this occasion. And coming to empowering the judiciary, which the CJ talked about a lot. Well, I can help the CJ with the Bible. There is time for everything. There is time to cry, there is time to laugh, there is time to... So there was time for... We couldn't have empowered the judiciary earlier. Because you see the 300, the almost 400 billion we are giving you now, and the 800 billion we are targeting in 3 years. The tax collection of Uganda in 1986 was 5 billion shillings. 5 billion. That's what it was, 1986. You can go, the other time when the judges came, I gave them the tax collection year by year. And when you come, I will give you that tax from 1986. At that time, it was not possible to handle these issues. The countries you are talking about, like Namibia and all the others, none of them collapsed like Uganda did. None of them. Never. None of them ever collapsed like the way Uganda did between 1971 and 1986. So when you are analyzing, you look at Uganda as somebody who rose from the dead. Jesus was killed and buried, and 3 days he rose from the dead. That's what happened to Uganda. See the tax collection, 1986, what was 5 billion, I remember that figure. And you can go year by year, year by year, and we'll see. So there's no way. So therefore, on the empowerment of the judiciary, the correct appreciation is there is time for everything. Now we can address the issue of more numbers in the judiciary and to make the judiciary like safe water. Safe water, we are to choose among priorities. That's how my people in Acholi got rid of the guinea worm. The guinea worm was a terrible worm which was entering people's legs through drinking bad water. And we eliminated it. We eliminated it by the safe water he's talking about. But at that time, we could not handle security, safe water, some of the roads, immunization, and also judicial at the same time. We had to prioritize among the priorities. So once more, just once more, humor. I think I need to tell the Deputy Chief Justice to pronounce the name of his senior. It is not Chingamoy. It is Chigamoy. Chigamoy. Justice Butera has uncolonized. Yeah, because it makes sense. Chinga is to close. It makes sense to close so Chinga something. And our daughter, the mistress of ceremonies, the chief registrar, there is a danger in the Deputy Attorney General being called Kafuzi. When you say Kafuzi, those who speak with Nyankwere know that it's very dangerous. It's not Kafuzi. It is Kafuzi. It's a W. Because when you say Kafuzi, Batka Terebe will tell you what it means. When you say Kafuzi, that's something different and rather undesirable. But the man is called Kafuzi. Kafuzi means an orphan. An orphan. That's what Kafuzi means. So with these few words, thank you so much, and allow me to run and go to the cabinet. Thank you for adjusting your program to allow me to do something fast, and then I can go. Thank you so much.
Your Excellency, thank you very much, Your Excellency. I have taken note and much obliged. Kafunzi, I have understood it. Thank you so much. I will not make the other mistake again. I learned it very well. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. May we give a round of applause for His Excellency. Your Excellency, thank you so much for your patience and bearing with us to the very end of this function. Your Excellency, before you go, we humbly request for a photo session because this is a very historic event, Your Excellency. It's the first you attend in person and also with Mama. So we'll have a photo point here. And I'll request the following persons who had been already notified of the photos to come quickly so that we have these photos taken. So those who will prepare to take the photos, the first one will be the three heads of the arms of government. His Excellency will take the photograph with the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament and the Honorable the Chief Justice. The second will be His Excellency with the Honorable the Chief Justice and the Chief Justices Emeritus, Odoki and Katureve. The third will be His Excellency the President with the Judiciary top management. The next one will be His Excellency with the Honorable the Chief Justice, the Justices and Judges present together with the DPP. The next photo will be by His Excellency with the top management and Mr. Brian Kansime. Now, Mr. Brian Kansime is the young man who has made the monument that was opened today. He's a young man and Ugandan talent, and so he will have a special photograph to take for purposes of memory and his record. And then we shall have a photo of His Excellency and the family of the late Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA. And the very last one will be His Excellency with members of the organizing committee. So the photos will go in that order, and I will humbly request that we shall move very fast so that we can take all of them in that order. Bwana PRO, I invite you here to continue making the announcements regarding those photo sessions.
So we are preparing to have the first photograph, which will be for the three arms of government, and then the rest of the participants will keep joining in as they are called. So I request the Chief Justice Emeritus to be stepping forward to join in for the next photo. The next one will be, the participants already there will be joined by the Judiciary top management. I request the justices and judges of the High Court, together with the DPP, to join in. We shall find a way of bringing in Brian Kansime. Brian Kansime, please step forward. This is the gentleman who constructed the monument of the late Chief Justice. The family of the late Benedicto KIWANUKA should be stepping forward. As the organizing committee prepares to join in for the last photograph. Let's have the organizing committee coming forward for the rest. Organizing committee, please, let's be quick. And after that, that photograph, we shall have the anthems as we bid farewell to His Excellency and Mama. Thank you very much, Your Excellency and Mama. We thank all of you for blessing this occasion with your presence. Let's take our positions for the anthems as His Excellency leaves us to continue with the rest of the program. Let's have the anthems, please. Thank you very much. We continue to appreciate you, Your Excellency, for having given us your time. We have come to the end of part one of this function. We shall now have just a few remarks from the awardees. The awardees could not have the opportunity at the time they were awarded, but we feel we cannot let them go without hearing from them. So we shall be having the awardees. I would like now to invite the Chief Registrar once again to manage that part. It's only 2 remarks that we shall have, and then we shall go for our reception.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Your Excellency, it's great that you're still with us. The Right Honorable Speaker and my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice. I would like to invite the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, my twin brother, who is going to invite the awardees to say a word or two. PSSJ, please.
Your Excellency, the Chief Registrar has called me twin brother. That's why you see me in a judicial administration gown. This is the first one of its kind. Therefore, may I take this honor to invite His Lordship Emeritus Justice Benjamin Odoki to come and make his remarks. Thank you.
Your Excellency the President and First Lady, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, my Lord the Chief Justice, my Lords, Honorables, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I was asked to make remarks for 3 minutes, and so Your Excellency, I'll not deal with some issues you have dealt with, which I would have liked to deal with, especially bail and capital punishment, which I dealt extensively when I was writing the Constitution. So I will start and say, Chief Justice BENEDICTO KIWANUKA was a matter of the rule of law. He died in defense of the independence of the judiciary, the rule of law, and the protection of human rights, which are essential for the promotion of constitutionalism, democracy, and good governance. Those of us who accepted to serve as Chief Justice hoped to advance his judicial legacy. It is with these sentiments that I'm delighted to receive this BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Memorial Award in recognition of my humble contribution to the rebuilding of the judiciary, the legal profession, and the legal sector in particular, and the restoration of constitutionalism, democracy, and the rule of law in general. I pay tribute to the Chief Justice, Owindolo, and his committee for finding me worthy to receive this award. Lastly, but not least, I'm grateful to His Excellency the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for giving me the opportunity to serve this country and beyond in many capacities to contribute to the socio-economic and political transformation of this country. May God bless you all. I thank you for your attention.
Your Excellency, allow me to invite His Lordship Bart Katurebe to make his remarks.
Your Excellency, the President, the First Lady and Minister of Education, the Right Honourable Speaker, my Lord the Chief Justice, my Lord the Deputy Chief Justice, my Lord the Principal Judge, the Honourable Attorney General, I will adopt the rest of the protocol as been given by the Chief Registrar. I'm deeply honoured to have been invited to this function. I'm even more deeply honoured and humbled to have been considered to be awarded the BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Award for the year 2021. On this day, we should all remind ourselves that unless we commit or recommit ourselves to the principles of the rule of law, what happened in the past could resurface, taunt us. Therefore, wherever we are, whether in government or in private sector, we should all recommit and remember the dictum, do unto others what you would have them do unto you. If you think it is important for you to enjoy your fundamental rights under the Constitution, why should you abuse the rights of others when you are in a position of responsibility to protect them? Here we should continue to ask ourselves why the fathers of our Constitution provided not only for a Bill of Rights, but also singled out specific rights that must not be derogated from under any circumstances. This was to emphasize the principle of human dignity, that the human being, wherever he is, however vile he is, he should be accorded dignity. For us in the judiciary, we must bear in mind that a person brought before us is entitled to a speedy trial, speedy and fair trial. For every day we delay to deliver judgments, we are violating the rights of others. I pledge to keep interested in the matters of administration and delivery of justice in a private capacity. I will be dealing with matters of finding alternative ways of resolving disputes in a private capacity, and I believe that will be complementing what we are doing in the judiciary. I thank you, my Lord the Chief Justice, for inviting me, and I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity
to be present today. I thank Your Excellency for having given me the opportunity over the years to serve our country. As Thurgood Marshall would say, I did what I could with what I had. Thank you.
We can arise and wave to His Excellency as he leaves. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We are most humbled. And that brings us to the very end, the close of this function. I'll only summarize with votes of thanks. Your Excellency and Mama, thank you very much. The Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, we can't thank you enough for gracing this function today. My Lord the Honorable, the Chief Justice, our dear host, thank you so much. My Lord the Honorable, the Deputy Chief Justice and your organizing committee, thank you for putting together this day. And special thanks to all of you, our dear guests, participants in this 4th BENEDICTO KIWANUKA Memorial Lecture, both physical and online. We thank you so much for being with us. So the last item on our program today is the luncheon, which the host has prepared for us. My lords, we shall all go upstairs and derobe so that we are free and able to enjoy the lunch. We have a venue at the back of the High Court building where a delicious lunch has been prepared by the Honorable, the Chief Justice, for all of us. Thank you, and thank you so much. To God be the glory who has allowed us to have such a good day and a beautiful weather. The DJ will now keep us entertained as we go and enjoy the lunch. Thank you so much.
Pick of the day on UBC, brought to you by Chula Ntende ku program obulamu.